In this video, we are going to be discussing the problem with the 2K community. Now, obviously, I did not want to make this video, but recently I've just been seeing a lot of stuff going on, and I just have to, say my opinion about the 2K community because someone needs to say it. Okay, if no one's gonna talk about it, I'm definitely gonna talk about it. Obviously, there's this clip on Twitter with this, Michael Jordan. Unless you're living under a rock, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But there's this clip of this guy, obviously with the MJ, playing realistic basketball, and people have been going crazy. And obviously, the guy's chiming in saying, X, Y, and Z. So I want to obviously give my take on this. But also what I want to do, I want to show you guys some background gameplay because I want to show you guys that you can obviously play very similar to this. Now, this is the build that I'm going to be using to help me out. Now, I haven't posted this build. I haven't made a video on this build because I really like the name of this build. This build is called a sharp shooter. This is the best shooting 6'9" build you can ever make. Literally, statistically, this is the best shooting 6'9". I'm going to show you what the build is looking like right now. As you can see with this build, we're able to get 94-3, ignore the +1, and a 93 3-point, which basically gives you all the shooting badges in the freaking game, and you can dribble on this build. Now, the defense is not the greatest on this build, but it's decent, and I've played on this build for a little bit, and obviously this build is very helpful because I was going to drop a video on this a couple of weeks ago, but I just kind of skipped it, and I'm glad I skipped it because the clips I was going to use, it's actually very useful for this gameplay because it kind of ties into this realism type kind of basketball. But anyways, man, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to leave some background gameplay of the 6'9", so just going crazy in the rec by himself, and then I want to discuss the problem with the 2K community. Now, when it comes to the 2K community, there's this one thing that people love to say a lot that I don't really necessarily agree with, okay? Now, for me, one of the things I don't like about, the biggest issue in the 2K community is, especially when it comes to gameplay, is people are very quick to shut down a particular style of play. Like, for example, the guy with the Michael Jordan, you all can see the build I'm using in the background right now, okay? This is completely different from perhaps where my center plays or the way my point guard plays. And that's because my build has those stats. I have a 94 mid-range on this build. Now, if you guys don't know, a 94 mid-range gives you Hall of Fame blinders, which essentially means contests don't really exist on this build. Now, bearing in mind the build you're watching doesn't even have maxed badges. I ain't even got like Deadeye and all these other badges to even make it more cheesy, but I'm already making some crazy shots. Now, when it comes to the 2K community, like I said, one of the biggest things a lot of people, they always tend to do, especially these so-called comp players, or the best players of the game, they shut down everything that isn't normal to them, okay? Everything that they don't see in competitive stage or competitive gameplays, they completely quickly shut it down. Like, this is never gonna work. This is never gonna work. But one thing they fail to realize is there's actually way more casual players on this game than there are competitive players. So I've never really understood the obsession of people sticking to a particular subject. Like, as soon as you see someone do something, it's like, well, it's because you're not playing any competition, or it's because you're doing this in a rec, or you're doing this with guys that don't know how to play the game. But though, there's certain guys, or majority of people that play this game, we just hop on, or they just hop on. Maybe they've just come back from work, they just want to hop on the game, play 1 or 2 games, hop off the game, maybe go to the park, play 3 or 4 games, and then hop off the game. They ain't got time to be investing as much time as certain players. So these guys just want to hop on and have a good time. Now, if they see certain gameplay, like for example the one you're watching in the background, and someone is basically quick to say, well, that's not comp, don't ever play like this, go make a meta build like a 6'9" with max defense, sit in the corner and then wait there. These are the same guys that are going to complain and not getting the ball, because when they do end up getting the ball, their build is useless unless it's a catch and shoot situation, right? Now, again, when it comes to these top competitive guys, you need to understand there's very few competitive players in 2K in comparison to the randoms or to the casual players. So obviously 2K should obviously there has to be a balance to the game, but you can't just, what these competitive players want to do is they want 2K to completely abandon the casuals and just focus on competitive gameplay. Now, I love Swante. Okay? I've been watching Swante for a minute, but I've been watching a couple of his videos recently, and he's just saying bring X, Y, and Z back into the game and bring this back into the game. I'm thinking, no, don't bring that back into the game, please. Listen, I started playing 2K from 2K17, and I saw some of the 2K16 clips, right? those dribble moves, bro, if they bring those dribble moves back into, the current gen system, you already know guys are going to abuse it. They're going to abuse the screens. They're going to do the step back. They're going to shoot from limitless range. Now, with Agent 3 in the game, I think Agent 3 is one of those badges that needs to be vaulted, bro, because now everyone thinks they're damn Ticino. Everyone's taking this shot that they've never taken before in their entire life. So I personally do not like that Agent 3 badge, but that's for another video. But anyways, back to the point of this, realism style of play. Like, people have different ways of playing the game. People have different ways of enjoying the game. And I've just recently watched a Jonah video, the one he uploaded today, and he was talking about it. If you play COD, there's certain guys, they use different type of things. Not everyone wants to use the MP5. Not everyone wants to sweat every single game. Now, there are certain players that don't care about that. They just want to sweat and get as many kills as possible, and they do anything they want. But that's not the only way of playing the game. And that's the same thing when it comes to 2K. There's not one particular style of play that it should be done. Like, I'll give you guys another example. When I made my 6'11 Giannis build, yes, this Giannis build that I've been posting has been going crazy recently, you will not believe that my teammates did not want to play with me. They didn't want to play with me because they said, what is this build fit? It has no strength. Why are you 6'11? Why are you at small forward? What's the purpose of this build? And they haven't even played with the build. They haven't played a single game. They're just like, no, we're not playing with this build. We're not playing with this build. This build is trash. And then now, one of my teammates, Tage, that I play with all the time, he's like, oh, this is my favorite build in the game. And I'm like, bro, you was one of these people that just completely shut down the idea of, playing with this build as soon as they initially saw it. They were blaming me for not playing Pro-Am and everything else. But the one thing I like to do when it comes to this game is I don't like to make meta builds. Now, I know there are meta builds in the game that I can make, but these builds aren't fun to watch. Now, no disrespect to the 2K League, I'm sure a lot of the players that that got into the 2K League, they grinded their arse off to get into that league. But you all need to understand, if you go look at their YouTube channel right now, they don't get more than like 300 to 400 views. And these are the very best players the game can offer. And the reason why that is because the gameplay is simply not fun to watch. Now, competitive guys can like this stuff. They might be like, oh, this is great gameplay. But to the casuals, to the guys that just watch NBA, to the guys that just want to tune into a quick 2K game, if they see this stuff, they're going to tune out. They'll be like, bro, what am I watching? This is so boring. Now, the other thing as well, one of the things that I would love to see more in future 2Ks, and hence the reason I've been making a lot of my videos recently, is I would love to see off-ball players have more of an impact in the game. The problem with 2K at the moment is, even if you watch these competitive guys, there's only 2 dominant players or sometimes 1 dominant player in the game. And that's typically either the point guard or the point guard and the shooting guard. Everyone else is basically useless. Okay, not useless, okay, but you guys get the point, okay? They're just basically catch and shoot, go for a rebound, and that's about it. Imagine the NBA is like this. Imagine the NBA, we only have Steph Curry's and Trae Young's, and that is it. Steph Curry, Trae Young's, and Ja Morant's. That is it. With just a bunch of these guys and no one else. They run screens, 5-out, and everything else. I mean, it's gonna get tedious after a while. Like, imagine the NBA not having a Kevin Durant, not having a Kawhi Leonard, not having a Giannis. You guys get the point. Not having a Wilt. I'm trying to say, like, there's different players of the game that do different things. Now, also, the 2K community don't encourage players to try and play different. Now, if you guys have watched my stream recently, you guys know on my center, I've been post fading a lot. I've been post hopping a lot, and it's been working. But one of the quick things that other people are gonna say is, oh, it's not gonna work in a competitive game. It's not gonna work in a competitive game. I'm like, why is this the first thing that gets brought up every single time? Most people that play Rec or play Park, let's be honest, they do not play competition. They're just playing to have some fun, to have some casual gameplay, so they should be able to cater. Obviously, when I play comp, I can adjust my game style to the level of competition I'm playing, but that doesn't mean just because a particular style of play only, I just don't like that. I don't like when guys are like, oh, you can never post hop in a comp game. Why not? Do people try it? That's another thing as well. When you watch a lot of these teams, they don't even attempt to do anything different. They just want to stick to the old ways of playing the game. Like, imagine if Steph Curry was just like, you know what, this is how the NBA is being played. I'm going to be a traditional point guard. I'm not going to shoot the ball from deep. We're not going to see the pleasure of what we have in the current gameplay. Obviously, he changed the game, and that has helped the NBA for the better or worse. That's completely down to you. But the point I'm trying to make is this, right? A lot of people, you need to start understanding there are different ways of playing the game. Now, for me personally, and my personal take, I do not like watching a meta gameplay. It is very boring. It is very tedious to watch. the left right shooting fades is the most extremely boring thing ever. When I play rec, I'm always praying to run into like a small forward or a power forward or even a center build that's very, very dominant. Now, for you guys that are wondering why I'm even using my post hop jump shot on my center build, there was a game I went into, although my point guard, he does fade a lot. He wasn't the reason I started to fade. I went into a game one time, I was on my small forward Giannis build, and I played against the center. He was playing against one of my teammates' center, some random center, and he was cooking him with that Kobe hop. He was cooking, I mean, it was so good to watch. Like, bro, there has to be different ways of playing the game. There can't just be one particular way. And now, look, I'm not trying. I've never criticized, these comp guys, and obviously I don't like them when it comes to the rec for sure. But if they want to play in a certain way, that's cool. But how come when anyone else wants to play differently, you're just quickly shut it down? They don't like some people. I bet I remember when I posted my 6'8" versus my undersized center build. I bet most people, before they even clicked on the video, they didn't even watch the video, right? Before they clicked on the video, they already had the mindset, this is what I'm going to type in the comment section. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there are things that work that isn't traditional, that isn't to the meta, but it works in the game if you know what you're doing. And for me, I would love to see more variety of gameplay because it makes the game more fun to watch, And now, the build I just showed you guys, even though you guys saw, you guys are seeing a bunch of mid-range jump shots, don't forget the build also has a high three-pointer, so I can always mix up if I need to. It doesn't mean every single possession I'm going to go into the midi and take fades every single possession. It's about just mixing it up, making it fun to watch, keeping the defense on their toes. And because it works for me, the one thing I don't like is when guys are like, well, it's never going to work in a comp game. The issue with the comp players is they don't attempt to play any differently. They don't even want to try to play any differently. When I watch, for example, Tonic's video, I don't know if you know Tonic, he plays with Laker fan, and I see his center, obviously they use him as a bailout kind of thing, which is kind of annoying for me to see, but when I see his center kind of post fade in these comp games and he greens it, bro, it is so fun to watch. And I'm like, bro, why don't you guys just utilize this a little bit more? Why don't you guys try? It doesn't work. That's the one of the biggest comments from these so-called comp players. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's like, bro, I haven't. It doesn't work. Fair, it doesn't work. I'm like, bro, I haven't. Nope, it doesn't work. Fair, nope, it does. Never gonna work. It's never gonna work. And like I said, you guys are forgetting there are more casual players on this game. Like people that play casually, guys that go to the rec, they just want to have a bit more fun. If they want to be able to implement their favorite players and try and play like them in the game. Not everyone wants to be Steph Curry, and not everyone wants to be Trae Young, not everyone wants to be Ja Morant. Some people want to be Clint Capella. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to be Rudy Gobert, and it's cool to make those kind of builds as long as you know what you're doing. Again, the 2K community were very, very quick to just shut down certain things because it doesn't fit the way we understand the game. And I've been trying to break that mode. I've been trying to, if you guys have, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in a lot of my videos, I don't try to make a very traditional or meta type build. I'm always trying to add my own twist to it. Like, for example, my point guard can rebound. You don't necessarily see that. And I'm getting triple doubles in the rec. And the guy's going to come into the comment section, well, it's just a rec. It's just a rec. And I'm like, bro, I only play rec. I play rec with randoms. I love playing with randoms. Their gameplay is more fun to play. I don't want to play these, if I want to play competitive gaming, I know what I'm in for. A snooze fest. Bunch of left rights, bunch of basic cuts, fees, and that's it. There's nothing interesting about it. When I play randoms have different style of playing the game. Yes, we know a lot of them are trash at the game, but it's still more fun to play. So for me, my biggest issue is the 2K community were very, very quick to shut down anything that isn't traditional. And this is gonna happen in 2K24. As soon as certain builds start to come out, people are gonna start saying this is the meta build, this is the build to make, the meta build, make this build, make that build. Listen, my advice to you, if you're watching this video, if you watch this video this far, look, make the build that you want to make. Think of an NBA player that you personally like, and try and tailor your build to that. Do not make these replica builds. The replica builds are completely, most of them, 99% of them are bad. Okay, don't even listen to that. But think about your gameplay. Now, for me, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I've fallen in love with the mid-range game. So you already know for 2K24, I'm telling you guys right now, and I'm predicting it. Okay, I will be going crazy in the mid-range. This is probably the closest thing you're gonna get to realistic basketball, because the mid-range game is a lost art even in current NBA. He's basically lost art, but in 2K is definitely completely gone. A lot of people don't even take middies, bro, unless it's like a bailout shot or something. And again, the 2K community were just very quick to basically just, this is not comp, this is not comp, this is not comp, therefore your build is not valid. Okay, your build is not comp, therefore it's not valid. Oh, competitive players don't use this build, it's not valid. Like, not everyone wants to play comp. You can play differently and still have an impact on the game. Like, if you want to play different, you play different. Anyways, man, I don't want to keep you all for too long. Okay, listen, y'all don't have to agree with my point. If you guys disagree with it, you guys let me know in the comments. I'm happy to listen to what you guys think about it. But again, it's just gonna be, you make a certain video, oh, it's because you're playing bots, you do this, it's because you're doing that. Or but the majority of the casuals, they don't play competition, they just want to have fun on the game. Isn't it more fun to see someone do the stuff I'm doing right now than just to see them left right the entire game? It doesn't really make sense, whether it's competitive or not. Some people don't care about that level. Like I said, the percentage of competitive players in this game is at like 15%. 15 or 10% of us, or 10% of players on 2K are really competitive. The rest are casuals, and 2K can't cater to what the comp guys want because it's just not realistic for the entire game. And I don't want to see that. I'd rather have guys put their unique identity into this game. Otherwise, everyone's just going to play the same, which is so boring. Anyways, man, again, like I said, let me know what your comments are, what your thoughts are in the comments. Again, you don't have to agree with me. If you disagree with me, do let me know. But that's just how I'm feeling right now, man. I'm just so tired of everyone just criticizing each other, bro. There are a billion ways to play the game. Let us have some fun. Just because someone's playing differently, give them their props and don't criticize it. Guys love to watch it. There's a reason why that video is blowing up, because people want to see something different. No one wants to see your left right all day that we've seen a billion times. Anyways, man, I'm done ranting. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.